To begin this video, we are going to recap on what the area of a shape is. So, as we said last video, the area of this shape is a measure of how much space the surface of the shape covers. So, I can actually colour that in. So, for this shape, the area is all of that space that I have shaded in. Now, to measure that area, last video we said that we measure using small squares that we call centimetre squares. So this small square that is measured 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre is 1 centimetre square. Now we are using centimetres. You can use different units like millimetres, metres squared, kilometres squared, but for this lesson we are just going to be using centimetres squared. So as a quick recap of the learning that we did in the last video, using the fact that one of these squares is equal to 1 centimetre square, can you pause the video and work out the area of these two shapes? Okay, well done. Now the first shape, what did you get as the area for that one? Let's check. Well, we have a T shape here that is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimetre squares. And so our area is 5 centimetres squared. And the second one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 centimetres. So the area is 13 centimetres squared because that shape is made up of 13 squares where each square covers 1 centimetre squared. So far we have calculated the area by counting the number of centimetres squared that we can see. However, there is a different way to calculate the area as well. So from now on, for the rest of this video, we are going to be working with rectangles. So for this rectangle, using the method that we have already been using with the counting, can you work out the area of the shape? Pause the video and work it out now. So as we are presuming that one square is equal to 1 centimetre squared, if you count each of the squares that we have in that shape, you can see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So the area, which I represent with an A, is 20 what? What was our unit for area? That's right, centimetres squared. Now when we're calculating the area, we might not always want to count up each individual box in a rectangle because if we have lots and lots of boxes, this will be a waste of our time. So what we can do is we can work out the length of each of the sides of my rectangle. So along the top here, how many centimetres have I got? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes. So this length is 5 centimetres. And how about this length? What's the length of that side of our rectangle? That's right, it's 4 centimetres. So let's see if I can squeeze that in there. Just about, there we go, 4 centimetres. So now what I can do is, in order to work out how many little squares I've got, I know I've got 5 squares going horizontally and 4 squares going vertically. I have got 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 5, which I can write as 5 times 4. Using your times table knowledge, what is 5 times 4? 5, 10, 15, 20. Look, when I counted the squares, I got 20 centimetres squared as my answer. But also, if I multiply 5 times 4, I get 20 centimetres squared. Alternatively, I could work out how many squares I've got by grouping the other way. And I've got 1 group of 4, 2 groups of 4, 3 groups of 4, 4 groups of 4, and 5 groups of 4, which I can write as 4 times 5, which again, if I'm using my 4 times table now, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So what I've done, instead of counting how many little squares we've got, I've multiplied 5 by 4 or 4 times 5 to work out the amount of space, the amount of small squares I have inside my shape. Now, give this one a go yourself. What you might want to do is firstly count the number of squares to work out what the area is. Then work out how many centimetres we have this way, how many centimetres we have this way, and then can you write 2 multiplication sentences to help you work out the area without counting how many centimetres squared boxes we have. Pause this video and give it a go now. So if I want to simply count the number of centimetre squares I have in this shape, I could count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So my answer is 15 centimetres squared, because I have 15 small squares in there. Now, if I want to instead use my multiplication method, along the top of my shape, I have 3 centimetres. That's how long this side of the rectangle is. And then the length here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 centimetres long. So my 2 calculations, I could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups with 3 in each group. So 3 times 5. Or I could have 1, 2, 3 groups with 5 in each. Now, it doesn't matter which way around we multiply those numbers, we should get 15 as our answer both times. So in the 3 times table, 5 times 3, 3 times 5, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Or if I'm in the 5 times table, 5, 10, 15. So therefore, we have worked out, and I'm having to draw this a little smaller so it fits on our page, for a rectangle that has sides 5 centimetres and 3 centimetres, we know that the area equals, so this space here, equals 15 centimetres squared. Let's try another example. So I have a rectangle here that I've split into 1 centimetre squares. Put this on here for you. Now, can you work out the area of that shape firstly by counting the squares? Then, by writing 2 multiplication statements, you're going to want to work out how many centimetres we have here and how many centimetres we have here, and then multiplying together to check that you have got the correct area. Pause this video and give it a go now. Okay, so I'm going to begin by just counting how many centimetre squares we have in this rectangle. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So the area, there are 16 centimetre squares in there. So the area is 16 centimetres squared. Now, for my multiplication to find the area, I am going to work out the length. So this side is 2 centimetres. Squeeze the centimetres in there. And along the top, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 centimetres. So my 2 number sentences are either going to be 1 lot of 8 and 2 lots of 8, so 8 times 2, or how many groups of 2 could we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 times 8. Now both of those, when you do your 8 times table or your 2 times table, they give you an answer of 16 for both of them. So you know that the area of the rectangle is 16 centimetres squared. So now it is your turn to see whether you can find the area of these shapes. So for each of the shapes, I would like you to firstly you can just count the squares and write what you think the area of the shape is. And then, like we did in the example, can you write two number sentences that are multiplication sentences to help you prove that the area that you have counted is the area that we have. Now, question number 4 is a little tricky because I haven't split the shape into the smaller squares. You can if you want to, but that is up to you. You might just want to do the multiplication yourself. And then, as a challenge, if you really want to push yourself, can you draw a rectangle that has an area of 12 centimetres squared? So you might have to play around and see what do the lengths of the sides need to be so that the total number of little squares in the middle equal 12. Give it a go in your workbook and pause this video, and then when you come back I will go through the answers with you. Okay, so for question number 1, we can start by counting the number of squares we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the area is 8 centimetres squared. Now, we already had the lengths written on for us, so we know that the two multiplication sentences we can write are 4 times 2, because we have one group of 4, two groups of 4. And we know that that's equal to 8. Or we could have had how many groups of 2? 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 multiplied by 4 equals 8. So we know that our area is 8 centimetres squared. Okay, so for this shape, I have realised that it's not 6 centimetres long. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 centimetres. So well done if you noticed that. So we can cross this out. That's actually 7 centimetres. Apologies for the mistake. Okay, so to find the area for this, if you realised and said it was 7 centimetres by 2 centimetres, we can just count them. So I've got 7 along the top and 7 along the bottom. I know that 7 plus 7 is 14, so there are 14 little squares in total. So my area is 14 centimetres squared. Now, if you did say that the top was 6 centimetres squared, then your area would have been 12. Okay, so I'll do both versions on here. Now, to work out the multiplication, we are going to we're going to have two multiplication sentences. So we either have two lots of 7, 1, 2, which we know is equal to 14, or we have how many groups of 2? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 multiplied by 7, which gives me 14. If you use 6 as the top length, then your two number sentences would have been 6 times 2 and 2 times 6. Okay. So this example, we have it's a square because we have this side is 3 centimetres and this side is 3 centimetres, and so will this one, and so will this one. If I count all of the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, we know that the area is 9 centimetres squared. And then I could do, if I'm doing my multiplication, 1, 2, 3 groups of 3, and 1, 2, 3 groups of 3 again. So we know that the area of this is 9 centimetres squared. So by now you should have seen a pattern when we're finding the area of a rectangle. Or instead of counting the squares, you can do the length times the width. So for this one, if you just did 4 multiplied by 2 and you got an answer of 8 centimetres squared, that would have been your area. If you weren't sure, you could have split, if we've got 4 centimetres along the top, we could have split this into 4 centimetres and 2 centimetres here, and you could have counted if you wanted to. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the area would have been the same either way. But this method with the multiplication is the one that we want you to start using. So well done for completing those questions. Now, very quickly for anybody who did do the challenge, to draw the rectangle that has an area of 12 centimetres squared, we need to use our new rule now that if we have any rectangle and we know these two sides, we multiply them together to give us the area. So we're basically looking for two numbers that multiply together to give us 12. Now, your options are 1 times 12 is 12. 2 times 6 is 12. 3 times 4 is 12. And so on. So some examples of the rectangles you could have drawn could have been this. And you needed to have made sure that you label the sides so we know how long they are, even though they are just sketches. Or you could have done this. Or you could have done this one. So it didn't matter which one you done, as long as when you multiplied the length and the width together, you got 12. So, well done for this lesson, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.